Brilliant. Well, good morning, afternoon, or evening. My name is Alex.
My name is Robin.
There we go. We promise we'll get better at this. And welcome another week to Hold, Flip, or Dump. We've got a couple of tokens to review. Three, top gainers from the past 7 days. So again, the market is doing great. So let's review some of those tokens that are doing it well. One of them will be GALA. So the GALA token. We've got Thorchain. And finally, we've got Near, so the Near protocol. But before we do that, we've got a couple of news to review. I'll start with a couple of news that I've got here, Robin, and then we can look into that Ethereum upgrade. So starting with El Salvador. It's now on the news once again because their Bitcoin stash has generated about $85 million in profit. So, quite good, for a country that was struggling with inflation and also doesn't have a huge GDP. So it's not a very rich country. So I'm guessing that 85 million in profit must be a very good news for them. What do you think?
What's the population of El Salvador? What's that per residence? That's probably not insignificant if you're an El Salvadorian. That suddenly you just got a little bit richer. It's like who is it? MicroStrategy. The CEO of MicroStrategy has been buying Bitcoin relentlessly for years now, and as a result, the share price for MicroStrategy has gone through the roof. And it's just a bet that could have easily gone badly if the Bitcoin price hadn't performed quite as well. Then these people would not be heroes; they would be villains. But well done, El Salvador! Congratulations. I think that anyone living there, anyone with residency, is going to be a very happy El Salvadorian. Is that what you call a person from El Salvador?
Maybe let's stick to that.
I apologize to everyone from El Salvador.
Well, if you're in El Salvador and you're watching us, lo siento.
Lo siento.
But yeah, so moving on, Vitalik Buterin also on the news, essentially trying to calm any concerns on quantum computing and the effects that might have on the Ethereum network. So Robin might have a better understanding of quantum computing, but generally a quantum computer could essentially get your private keys and have access to your crypto. And funny enough, we're closer to that than we think. So we all thought in the Web3 space, in crypto, that not your keys, not your crypto, but now quantum computing actually is your keys, also not your keys. So it's kind of breaking that whole concept that you could control your funds. And in any case, it's good to hear that the founder of Ethereum is confirming that, just a simple hard fork could protect Ethereum holders from quantum computing. Your thoughts, Robin?
It's been on the brink of a thing for probably 20 years now. Quantum computing, like traditional computing, you've got ones, you've got zeros, and that's it. Quantum computing, you've got ones, you've got zeros, and you've got both ones and zeros, which is the quantum element, which means that the computing power is exponentially larger, and that is a risk for cryptography as we know it. If you send money in Bitcoin, if you send money on any network, it's all encrypted with cryptography, digital cryptography. I won't go into details, but it's very complicated, and it relies on hashing, which is a very complex computing puzzle, which is very difficult to reverse. But if you have a quantum computer, suddenly this problem becomes a lot easier, and you're able to reverse engineer these hashes, and you're able to break cryptography. I think the thing that people often forget to say when they mention quantum computing and the risks it's not just Bitcoin, it's not just Web3, it's not just crypto, which would suffer. It's every electronic transaction ever. The entire banking industry would be at risk. So if this does happen, I think crypto will be the least of our worries. I think you should run for the hills and start buying guns, because things are going to go south very quickly if quantum computing cracks the code. So yeah, it's terrifying, and it seems to be getting closer, but we'll see.
Wow, great way to start the morning or afternoon, great news for everybody. No, but I 100% see what you're saying there. And it's funny, one thing that I was thinking about is how um, technologies that started being developed 20 plus years ago are now finally having an effect. AI is not something that was invented last week. It's been under development for years and years and years. Same as peer-to-peer sharing and decentralized networks have existed forever. Not forever, but I'm sure that a lot of us have used any of the file sharing platforms. Just in case that gets me in trouble, I've never used it, for the records. But yeah, so really interesting how bunch of scientists came up with quantum computing years ago, and now we start seeing the potential effects of it.
Yeah, nuclear fusion, that's another one that's been on the peripherals for a while, and every now and again you see a news story that something has regressed a little bit along the way. But like you said, AI was like this for the last 20 years. The first AI happened at the beginning of the 20th century, like 1930 something. There is a long history of just slow advances, and then suddenly something changes and it massively accelerates. So keep an eye on quantum computing and nuclear fusion and everything else that is just a few years away.
There we go. And one more thing to keep an eye out on is WorldCoin, which is back on the news. So WorldCoin, and since we say keep an eye out for it, essentially they're asking people to scan their eyes, and with that, just build a way of identifying humans and allow them to have transactions. I'll just read this because I must say that I've not been keeping up with the news. But essentially, WorldCoin, so founded by Sam Altman from OpenAI, and they are a digital currency available to anyone in the world, and they want to use biometric data to ensure unique and secure identification of individuals to distribute the currency fairly. Now, there's been a lot of talk about the privacy concerns, and in this case, there's another country that has banned WorldCoin from operating. In this case, is Spain. So they tried to get a lot of adoption in developing countries, and a lot of people did scan their eyes, because obviously, if you scan your eyes in exchange for what, $10, if you're in a developing country, then that's a lot of money. Now, they've been trying to get adoption in the Western countries, and in this case, Spain has banned them from operating. So, what do you think about all this? Should more countries stop WorldCoin from scanning people's eyeballs, or what's your thought on WorldCoin and countries wanting for it not to operate?
I think it's a problem that's only going to get worse. Identifying and separating bots from humans, it's been a problem in the internet for a very long time, but with the advancements in AI in the last couple of years, we're going to see a lot more problems. Incidentally, WorldCoin market cap $1.46 trillion. That is, as of recording. That's a lot of WorldCoin. And who better to solve this problem than Sam Altman, somebody that knows probably more about the future of AI than most. I think that a lot of people have issues with the privacy aspects of this, obviously, because you don't want these massive companies, international conglomerates owning your eyeballs. But this is a problem that we're going to have to solve, and it's only going to get worse. The closest proxy really is the problem with Twitter or X, where you've got hundreds of people, millions of people pumping out content, most of which is probably from bots or from AIs. How do you know which is actual human content? And the way that Elon Musk is trying to combat this is to get people to pay for X. But there's going to be the same problem across everything pretty soon. Already, the the content on the internet is being swamped by AI, and at some point we're going to have a very reliable way of telling what is a human and what is an AI. And this is one of the solutions. Maybe it's not the solution, but we're going to see more of this, I think.
Yeah, something that did go slightly viral in the past few days is fake content showing the CEO of XRP talking about some exclusive airdrop for XRP holders. And if you scan the QR code on the video or click the link and connect your wallet, then you're eligible for exclusive airdrop. That is a very clear scam. If you've watched this and you're watching this at the same time, please do not connect your wallet to anything that is not official. Because scammers are getting very smart, and with the advancement of AI for content generation and mimicking real people, then yeah, we're getting into trouble. So I do understand the ideal that some altman is trying to achieve with WorldCoin. Now, some altman is also very, has got a great track record of just doing a 180 and turning things around without any notice. With OpenAI, it was supposed to be a open source company. It was not for profit. Elon Musk, since you mentioned him, he's complained several times publicly about how, it was supposed to be a charity, not for profits, not charity. And then open source AI, and it became closed source and for profit. So maybe, you're giving your eyeball scan to some altman, and then he will just use it to, I don't know, duplicate eyeballs and start creating, clones of yourself. Maybe Clone Wars are closer than we expected.
Yeah, Star Wars. Oh no, I'll be up for that. It was a great film. The we spoke about this last week, I think, a bit, and maybe the week before as well. Actually, the idea of decentralized AI and the idea that we probably don't want a private company in the US owning everybody's access to content, and it's only going to get more centralized. So those of us that love crypto, those of us that love the idea of a decentralized world, decentralized gatekeeperless institutions, we should be starting to build the future. And maybe the future is not WorldCoin, it's a decentralized version of that, some kind of permissionless authentication that we can use to differentiate between humans and AI. Who knows?
Brilliant. Let's move on to a bit happier news, Robin. There's a new upgrade happening in the Ethereum ecosystem, and yeah, tell us more.
The blobs are coming, and we've got some exciting news to share on that front. So as of recording tomorrow, so that's Wednesday, the 13th of March, 2024, the Ethereum Dencun upgrade is scheduled to hit the main net. And this is a good news for all those layer 2 fans out there, because if you're a layer 2, if you're a roll-up, that means that transactions are going to be a fraction of the cost. Some estimates have put the layer 2 transactions between 10 to 100 times cheaper and 45 to 100 times faster than they were before the upgrade. So that's a big improvement by any stretch. And I won't go into the technical detail, but basically we've got this new concept. We've got blobs. There's no longer just block space, there's blob space. And that means that on-chain data is cheaper to store. And when these roll-ups happen on layer 2s, it means they're being stored in blobs, which are temporary data objects which don't take up block space. So it's not going to have much of an effect on layer 1 gas fees, unfortunately. So if you're trading NFTs on layer 1, it's not going to drop in price anytime soon, especially with the kind of volume we're seeing in token transfers right now. But if you're trading on a L2, then you are going to see some benefits. So now is the time to release an NFT collection on a layer 2, which is exactly what we're doing. We're going to release the Blobs NFT collection tomorrow. And that is available to celebrate the Dencun upgrade. There's going to be 10k blobs, and you can own a bit of Ethereum and layer 2 history And yeah, we'll talk a bit more about this, I'm sure, in the coming days. But watch this space. We'll put some links maybe in the description, and you can own a blob. We're very excited.
Yeah, we'll leave a link in the description, and there's an opportunity as well for everybody to benefit and grow their cash. Why not? So cash doesn't grow on trees, but it might grow on blobs. So
Join the
keep an eye
blobosphere.
out. Yeah, there we go. So let's move on. We'll keep this short and sweet for the tokens. For the token review, we're starting with GALA. So there's certain tokens that I'm familiar with. I'm sure, Robin, you've heard some of these brands and projects, etc. So we've got GALA, one of the top gainers in the past 7 days, as we can see here. Then we've got Thorchain or RUNE. Also, I'll bring it back to that. In the past 7 days, it does look quite attractive, starting at $5.30. It's now all the way on $9. And then finally, let's bring that back to 7 days on Near Protocol. Started at 4 and it's up to $7. So let's go with GALA. Do you know much about GALA?
I have come. It's one of those projects that I've come across several times, but I've never done a deep dive on. I don't own any GALA, so this is going to be interesting from my perspective to learn about it. I'm looking at CoinGecko. Hang on, let me share my screen as well, so we can have a record of both. 1 second. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what I'm doing as we research each of these. Just to recap, hold, flip, or dump. We're going to pick 1 token to hold, 1 token to flip, and 1 token to dump. 1 for long-term gains, 1 for short-term gains, and 1 for no gains because we don't think there'll be any. GALA is a blockchain, a gaming blockchain, I believe. GALA is a blockchain gaming ecosystem. Gamers can explore different types of games and have their experiences interact across each other on the GALA platform. So when was GALA invented? That's my first question. When did GALA start? September 2020, according to CoinGecko. Well, that's when it was listed. So we've got 3-4 years of history. The recent price action is not anywhere near what the previous high was of about 70 cents, something like that. And right now we're at what, 5 cents, 6 cents. So yeah, big spike in the last bull market. Not so much this bull market. So maybe that'll change. My first question is, what does the website say? Let's see how many blockchain bingo cards we can tick off with some keywords. GALA Chain Hackathon.
Yeah, it's interesting. I have heard about GALA, and the registered name shows as GALA Games. However, they look like more of a blockchain content entertainment type of platform, and really cool because, again, I'm guessing they started with games, they expanded to music, and they also have films, and it's just a way of for anybody that's creating content in any of these 3 forms to be able to monetize it. And quite interesting, really interesting project. Sorry, go on. I just find it really, really appealing, as they seem to be expanding to other forms of entertainment, and the token so far is reflecting that they're doing something right.
Yeah, I wonder if they expanded during the bear market. A lot of blockchains were searching for that use case that was going to bring some revenue, but maybe this has always been the case. I don't know. I'm learning about GALA for the first time as well. So, as with any blockchain or infrastructure or very technical projects, the first questions are always about what is going on the network, how many people are using it, how active is the GitHub. That's the kind of thing that I want to answer. because price action is mostly speculative, and I want to know what are the fundamentals, how much is there backing up this this blockchain. And we've got some activity on the GitHub. We've got this is the SDK, so it's how programs and applications interact with the blockchain. And we got some commits 5 days ago, 2 months ago, last week. It looks like there are 10 contributors which are regularly accessing the repository. And if I wanted to, we could go into some more detail about like what the latest issues are, what the latest commits have been, what they've been working on. So that would form part of my due diligence if I was going to buy GALA, which I'm not. But I'm going to hypothetically buy it as part of Whole Flip Dump. So it's important to ask these questions. How much do you know about GALA, Alex? Do you know like any games that have been released on GALA?
Not at all. I'm looking at this, and it seems that they've done really interesting collaborations. So 4 successful series with DreamWorks. So Trolls, the movie Trolls from DreamWorks. Also, The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And quite interesting that their generative NFT avatar project called Vox, VOX, is currently being developed by Will Wright, which is who's the creator of The Sims. So
interesting.
It's yeah. So they've got they've got an interesting team behind it. Now, what it's interesting the analysis you're going through. I'm not able to find whether GALA, the token, is being used for any form of transactions, whether it's to access content or buy content, or what is the utility of GALA. That's the one thing that I'd like to review. And again, just like you said, Robin, none of us hold or have bought any GALA. We're not sponsored by GALA, so it's it's nice to see that it's gone up. Price at the moment is 7 cents, but very far away from the 80-cent all-time high. So yeah, a lot of work to do, and I think that projects that do not manage to overtake the previous all-time highs, then they're going to have a really tough time during the bull market. So yeah, I guess that's a very quick review of it. Anything from your side, or should we move on to RUNE?
Yeah, just in summary, I believe in blockchain gaming fundamentally. I think it's an interesting area that's just going to grow, and maybe GALA will be part of that. They'll probably grow as well as part of the larger ecosystem, so potentially a good investment. Who knows? But yeah, let's move on to RUNE and Thorchain.
Brilliant. So I'll bring that up on screen so we can see it. There we go. So RUNE is the native token from Thorchain. So currently at $9.50. Still very far away from that all-time high at $19. But again, Thorchain is an exchange. This is a project that I'm fairly familiar with. I've been a fan of it, but I've never held any room at all. Different reasons, and yeah. In any case, we did a episode on exchange tokens where we reviewed a centralized token, decentralized, and we reviewed an NFT exchange token as well. So go back to it. We'll leave a link in the description as well. But in short, Thorchain, only Thor swap really, allows users to exchange native tokens across different networks. So for example, you could exchange native Bitcoin for native Ethereum and vice versa without needing to use wrapped tokens. Just not to get super complicated is the fact that you can just exchange the tokens that you've got without having to go through extremely complicated technical processes for you to access it. Now, the token, as we can see, is still fairly far away from the all-time high And what's interesting is that, again, we can see those three peaks that we see on the previous, well, it's not looking so easy. So let's go here and we'll put RUNE on trading view, why not? And there we go. So still very far, like I said, but we've got those three peaks. So this chart looks slightly different from a lot of other tokens that did have those big gains in 2021. And the reason being is because it's an exchange token. So consider that the value and the price of this token will also be determined based on the TVL on this exchange and the protocol, as well as how many people are actually swapping tokens on ThorSwap. Any thoughts, Robin? Jump in.
Yeah, I guess the question is, why is it pumping now? Why are we seeing massive gains? Thorchain price leaps 50% 4 days ago. We're seeing this spike. It could just be the bull market. It could just be following on the coattails of Bitcoin and the rest. But is there another reason? I don't know. Could it be that just the increased volume means that some of that value is going back to holders of RUNE? I would say there was a slight tangent, but I believe there was some news about Thorchain not so long ago where USDC, the stablecoin from Circle, withdrew from Thorchain, and there was some kind of shots fired at USDT Tether due to the fact that they were staying on Thorchain. I don't know the details, so I'm not going to try and pretend I do, um, but it seems like there's some kind of controversy around Thorchain that I'm not fully aware of, and USDC have withdrawn. Possibly they didn't need to be on Thorchain anyway, but they seem to think there was some kind of dodgy dealing going on. I don't know the details, so I'm not going to go into any more detail.
No, fair enough. I didn't know that. And again, that's the value of doing this kind of analysis. So if you're coming into the bull market, this particular period in the market, and you find yourself in the bull market, you need to review tokens fairly quickly and make decisions. Of course, it's about being smart with your own money. Again, it's not financial advice, but it does help going through those updates and going through the news apart from just the charts. So interesting that USDC withdrew from Thorchain. I wonder why they did that. So as soon as we find any information, we can add it as well to the description for everybody. But yeah,
the price action is certainly very positive. So hopefully there's a reason for that.
Yeah, absolutely. A valuable thing to do is, if you don't know DeFi Llama, highly recommend it. It's a free resource, and all we would need to do is just go to the search Thorchain. Let's see what's happening with RUNE, and if we see TVL going up, there we go. Look at that. TVL just shot up all the way to 500 million in TVL at the moment. Is it 500 million? Yeah, 500 million. So in the space of since February, in February the 6th, it was about 200 million. So it's double in a month. Just for reference, on the previous all-time high was $500 million in TVL in March 22nd. And we could potentially just review that. So that's November. So March 22nd. Yeah, there we go. So around April, May is where the price hit that all-time high as well. So really interesting, because as you can see, the price of the token is very highly correlated to the TVL in the protocol. So if people are adding liquidity to Thorchain, then the price is going up. So again, very interesting. People are adding money to this protocol, and if they keep doing so, then price might reach really interesting levels. quick note, and then I'll go quiet, pass it back to you. Is on the previous all-time high that we saw there in April 22nd, that was $500,000. We're over, we're almost reaching that TVL all-time high, but the price is still very far from that all-time high. So consider that it's not just the value of the token and how you know, if there's a lot of usage of the network and people are depositing money, consider that on in this whole time, ever since the previous all-time high, there's been more tokens in circulation. So basics of economics, similar or less demand and higher supply, then the price will struggle. Anything else from your side, Robin?
Yeah, that TVL number is a interesting one. People are not only using the network to swap coins, they're obviously leaving value on the blockchain, maybe for liquidity, maybe some other kind of staking mechanism. I don't know, but that shows trust in the network, and it shows that people are willing to think more long term, which is good for investors. So that's an interesting metric to look at. Should we move on to Near Protocol?
Yes, let's do it. So, Near Protocol is one that I don't know a lot about. Have you heard of
I
Near
came
Protocol,
across
Robin?
Near Protocol a long time ago. It must have been, yeah, it's been around since 2020 by the looks of it. So it must have been around then. Um, I know that they have been pushing NFTs. I know that they've been pushing tokens. They're really going for like a complete package, a complete offering. Um, and uh, I know that fees are lower. Near Protocol is a sharded, developer-friendly, proof-of-stake public blockchain built by a world-class team that has built some of the world's only sharded databases at scale. So a tech-friendly, tech-heavy founding team, and I believe it's a layer one. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right in saying it's a layer one. I don't know the technical details of Near. Again, it's a blockchain that I've come across, and I've seen that the Near price has been, what is it, number 21 on the list by market cap. But I've never really engaged much with the blockchain, or I've never bought a Near NFT despite coming across it in the past. But yeah, the price
Yeah,
is
same.
doing well.
Absolutely. So, Near Protocol is considered a blockchain killer. So in this case, it's supposed to be a Solana killer. Same as Solana is supposed to be an Ethereum killer. Same as Ethereum is supposed to be a Bitcoin killer. Same as everything. So it's something killer. So the idea here in this, yeah, escapes my technical understanding, is that Near can be extremely fast, can be fairly secure, and also very, very cheap because it uses a process, like you mentioned, called sharding. Not extremely familiar with the process, but as I understand, it just breaks transactions into smaller bits, and it can just make it be much faster than your traditional network. Do you know much about sharding, Robin? Would you be able to
Yeah,
explain it to a non-technical?
sharding has been around for decades. Sharding is actually a very, very old concept from databases, and the idea is that instead of having everything centralized on one big database, you can shard, and you can have smaller instances that run specific functions or specific parts of that database, and it's a way of scaling to lots of traffic, lots of volume. And actually, on the subject of sharding, proto dank sharding is what's coming out in the Dencun upgrade, which goes live tomorrow, 13th of March, and that is bringing sharding to layer twos and Ethereum. So this is part of the big kind of outlook, the big future, the big roadmap for Ethereum. Sharding is going to be the concept which scales Ethereum to and lowers gas fees and brings it to the normies and all of that stuff. So it's I'm sure Near has been doing it for years by the looks of it, but this concept is now coming to Ethereum as well.
I always found the term normies quite insulting because I was a normie once. So, well, but yeah, okay, no, very interesting. I'm guessing the value of sharding comes if you've got that high volume of transactions.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you know. So I'm guessing that an interesting point for Near is that if that volume grows, if more people are, the NFT projects keep growing and there's more trading volumes and TVLs and etc., then that's where the value of Near comes and where the price could grow. So, okay,
Yeah, good
understood.
point.
Hmm.
Like with this kind of thing, I'd want to see how much volume is there on Near, how many coins are being traded, what are the DEX volumes like, how does it compare to the the competition basically. If you want to invest in Near for the long term, you want to know how is it losing market share? Is it gaining market share? Why are people using the blockchain when there are plenty of alternatives out there that are possibly more accessible? But it's been around for years. It's still around, and the price is going up. So all the signals are good, and they have 1.9 million followers on Twitter. So they must be doing something right.
Yeah, brilliant. So, what would you say is your decision between
Okay,
holding, flipping, or dumping? Go for it.
this is a difficult one this week. I think actually this has become harder since we've entered a bear market because everything is going up, and I know we've been picking coins that have been trending, but Near Protocol, I think it's got history. I think it's got a large user base. I know that it's just one of those things that keeps coming up in my feed. I don't know how it's performing in terms of other blockchains, other competitors, but based on what I know, it's a strong contender. Uh, Thorchain, there's a slight nagging feeling for me that with Thorchain, and I'm not sure what it is. So I want to do some research, make sure that um, there's nothing untoward being done behind the scenes at Thorchain. But assuming that it's all above board, it's all kosher, it looks like it's doing very well. And then GALA, I don't know much about GALA, so I can't say for sure whether I would want to invest in the long term. For me, I think GALA would be the flip because I think blockchain gaming is going to be big. I think a lot of people think that. And it seems like blockchain gaming coins are enjoying a renaissance at the moment. So I would buy GALA in the expectation of it going up still and sell in, I don't know, a few weeks, maybe months, and hope to make a profit, maybe just ride out the bull market. Um, I would dump Thorchain for no real reason other than the fact that I've heard something dodgy is going on. But again, this is not research. This is just some kind of nagging feeling in the back of my head. And I would hold Near because I think it's an interesting technology um, and it's a layer one that's been around for a while. Could be a competitor to the other layer ones. So not a huge amount of information or data backing up my decisions this week, but that's my gut feeling. How about you, Alex?
Okay, well, we'll go with your decision, of course, because it was your week. But for me, I would actually hold Thorchain, seeing that, behind the scenes, people are putting more money into the protocol. And as the decentralized exchange volume keeps growing, there'll be a moment where more people that, they move away from high gas fees on the likes of Uniswap and they want to get Bitcoin, native Bitcoin or native tokens. So they would be going into Thorchain. At some point, Thorchain was the decentralized exchange with the highest volume. So yeah, I'm expecting it to keep growing as people keep finding more about it. So I'd say holding Thorchain, Near Protocol, I would flip Near Protocol, and I did do very basic technical analysis in here. Still very far away from that all-time high, and it's currently on a very strong resistance level. So if it manages to break through, then there could be a really interesting flip to be done all the way up to 12, so about a 50% gain. Not a lot, but again, for crypto, 50% is not bad. And then finally, I will dump GALA. If I had any of these tokens, I will dump it. Reason being is because, yes, blockchain gaming, it's a space that is growing and it can keep growing and it will continue growing for sure. But if the token hasn't had any effect during the bear market, because blockchain gaming is the one thing that could continue during the bear market, and a lot of games have been getting a lot of adoption because you don't really need a crypto wallet or crypto knowledge. You just need to know how to play video games. And if a project this big with a team that is that big, with experience building The Sims, and the token hasn't had any movement at all, it's complete flat dead since June 22. I find it very hard to believe that it will grow what is this, a 10x in the next few weeks. So I will dump this, not for other reason. I love video games as well, but in this case, I didn't really love GALA. So yeah, that's a quick summary.
Good. Yeah, that made a lot more sense than I think you probably know more about the blockchain gaming ecosystem than I do. So that was interesting to hear about GALA. Cool. Okay, so that's
Brilliant.
it for this week. Thanks for watching, and leave any comments down below, and stick around tomorrow if you're around on Wednesday for the drop for the Blobs to celebrate the Ethereum Dencun upgrade. And until then, have a good one.